These are the must-have tools that you need to run your Etsy business. There is a mix of free and paid tools, but by the end of this video, you will see why the paid ones are so super important. All right, let's get into it. By the way, guys, I've been officeless. Well, this is my office, but it's not my office where I shoot my videos. So I've just been going around shooting wherever I can, and it's stressing me out a little bit because the lighting keeps changing and my sister's looking at me. Sydney. Sydney's been working for me for how many years?
3 years.
3 years? Why on and off?
Because I'm stubborn.
Because I'm your sister and you don't want to work for me? Or say that you work for your sister? All right, let's get back into the video. And obviously, we're going to save the best for last, so make sure that you're going to want to stay until the end. So the first one is whether you do print on demand or not, it's just a given. You just need this tool. It's called Canva. There is a free plan. And even if you don't do print on demand, I still use this a lot. Like, we don't do print on demand. We are a handmade shop and I use it a lot. If you guys don't know what Canva is at this point, Canva is probably like the most well-known graphic design tool that is just enhancing every month and is just amazing. So for logo design, for graphics, doing graphics in your main images, if you're print on demand, obviously you're going to be using it to actually design. It's like Photoshop for beginners. And I've been using Canva probably since 2017. So like many years now. And I've just seen the changes they've made to the platform, and it is becoming like Photoshop, meaning having just as much functionality, but made for like dummies, basically. All right, that sounded kind of mean. It's not for dummies. You're not a dummy. I'm not a dummy. It's just, they break it down. Like Photoshop is like super overwhelming. Canva is like so intuitive and easy. So not to mention all of the templates and everything that they give you like for free. They give you pre-made templates. If you're looking for an Etsy shop mood board for jewelry, it's going to give you back a bunch of templates. If you need thank you cards for your product insert template, you know, it has that. And then if you have your brand colors, you can easily, you know, take any of their pre-existing templates and then just mix it up with your color scheme. It's awesome. It's super awesome. Now, the second one, and I think it's something that we all should get used to using, is ChatGPT. I always say BT, ChatGPT. So this is actually just wild. Let's just talk about, what do I even use this for? So I use this for writing titles. I use it now to find my keywords, for new product ideas. I use it for everything. All right, guys. So I just want to show you real quick how I'm using ChatGPT. So again, this is not that the other tools aren't good. It's just, if you're going to spend money on, you know, competitor analysis software, it's like, I don't know, my opinion is just get more bang for your buck. But again, this is my opinion. Everyone's open to their own opinion. And this is just what I do. So doesn't mean that's what you have to do. But basically, you're going to see why here in a second. You just get more bang for your buck, right? Like, this is not only doing the idea, your keyword research, and writing you the actual titles, tags, and descriptions, or anything that you need written. This thing can do whatever you need. It can build SOPs, processes for you. It can make you, if you ask it to make me a customer service workflow for my jewelry business, like, it's going to do so much. So I don't know. It's just the pros outweigh the cons with how much value you actually get. So the first thing I put here is, give me a list of top performing keywords I can use in my Etsy listings for a 1-year-old baby design onesie. And then it's giving me back top performing words, right? But we didn't really define anything. So let's just take this a step further. I said, write me a keyword optimized Etsy title without repeating keywords and separating long tail keywords with commas. Cool. So it wrote me a pretty broad title based off of what I said. And then I said, give me the top search terms for selling a baby onesie on the internet, right? So then I was like, let's get a little bit more specific, because I spend a lot of money on Etsy ads, and my Etsy ads get pushed to Google. So I'm curious about not just Etsy, but if it's a top performing search word on the internet, then it's probably being searched a lot on Etsy too. So here's some top search terms for selling baby onesie on the internet, which can help you optimize your Etsy listings. Cool. So now it's giving me the top listings. So these are just keyword ideas, first of all. And one thing I just want to mention is, people get really caught up in keywords and they like to blame keywords for their traffic problem. And why does that happen? That happens because keywords are a historical historically a really easy thing to fix. Because if it's just a matter of you going to your listing and changing some keywords and then all of a sudden, boom, your listing's going to perform, right? In theory, you're like, oh, it must be a keyword problem because that's, the lowest hanging fruit to fix your listing. But if you're doing all of the keyword research, whether you're using this or eRank, whatever, there's only so many words that are even available to you. And I would argue nowadays, Etsy knows what you're selling just based off your image and how you get indexed, right? If you're using all of your best case scenario words, all of these words, or any of the words you're using with any other tool, or just looking at your competitors' listings and looking at their keywords, right? It's normally 80, 90, 95% of the time not a keyword problem. It's actually a product problem or a value proposition problem, which I have a whole video that I actually have coming out on that. And I also have a free starter course where I go really deep into validating and elevating your idea before you go to market so you can really pinpoint why your listing's not working. But like I mentioned, it's normally not a keyword problem. Like if you're using all of these words, right, and you're not getting traffic, it's not a keyword problem at that point, right? So anyway, we go a little bit deeper here and I was like, I want to know the top performing words for, on the internet, right? And so now it gives me back all of these words and then it gives me sources. And I was like, oh, that's interesting because it's actually never done that before. So I asked, why did you list Etsy Hunt and eRank here? And it said, I included sources from Etsy Hunt and eRank to help provide a comprehensive view of the top searched keywords for baby onesie across various platforms. So it's literally like if you had to write a report and you have to cite where you got your data from, it's literally saying like that's where it's getting its data from. So if you're already using these tools, it's like, oh, well, why not cross-check it across multiple platforms, right? And so I said, to be exact, I'm selling a personalized baby onesie that allows them to input their age that says, today I am blank years old. Based on the top performing keywords on Etsy and the internet, write me a keyword optimized title for my Etsy listing without repeating keywords and separating long tail keywords with commas. Okay, cool. Wrote me a perfect title with the top performing words, right? It says this title incorporates top performing keywords and long tail phrases, ensuring it is optimizing for search visibility on the Etsy platform. So this is the updated version of ChatGPT. I will check how much I pay for this. Yeah, so it's $20 a month. So yeah, I mean, eRank, Everbee, all those other tools are awesome as well. But I know for a few extra dollars, like you're just getting a lot more. Plus, like I said, I'm going to use this for writing descriptions, building SOP processes, all of the things, right? So again, this is just what I'm doing. And I mean, I think everyone's got to get used to using AI more sooner than later. It just makes you faster as a business owner. Now, the third tool, which is a completely free tool, is a free SKU generator tool. And I actually have a link in the description for you to get this SKU generator tool. So what is a SKU and why should all businesses utilize a SKU? So most Etsy sellers don't do this step for a couple of different reasons. One is because they don't understand what it actually does. Actually, there's really three reasons why they don't use it. Two, because it's extra work for them, because to build a trackable business, right, to track every single product that you sell, to get that data on a really good high level, it is more extra work, which is even more emphasis of why you should do it in the early stages when you're first starting your business, and not like how I did, where I'm already, a year in and then had to make SKUs for over 1,000 products. It was really, really painful. So if you're in your early stages, it's better to adopt these practices earlier than later, because learning how to track your business when you already have 1,000 products is hard. And then the third reason why people don't use SKUs sometimes is because for print-on-demand sellers, if it's a custom order listing, right, you don't use the SKU, or you want to do a manual fulfillment on the back end, right? You don't publish from Printify. And so when you don't publish from Printify, you're not pulling over the SKUs from Printify. And you do that because you want to launch on Etsy faster or duplicate listings that don't have SKUs, so the SKUs don't really matter to you, but they still should matter to you because you're inhibiting you from tracking what you're actually selling at the end of the month, which this will all make sense later on in the video. So anyway, without going on too long about SKUs, stock keeping unit. It allows you to identify your item, your unique item. So if you have a listing that has 30 variation options in it, it identifies that unique item without you having to look at the title and the image. And this matters because if you want to actually track the products that you sold and those product costs at the end of the month, you need some other identifier to see how many units sold of that particular item you sold. Now, if you're just depending on the variant name that you give it, so if you're giving it a name like red and that's the variation option name, right? You might have 20 other reds with different products across your store. So you can't really identify the item, right? So you need a unique code that says that this is a small red custom butterfly shirt, right? That code, it tells you what your products are. Now, if you're print on demand, the important thing here is that you're just using the SKUs from Printify or Printful or wherever your print on demand provider is and making sure you're bringing those SKUs over, especially when you duplicate your listing. So if you duplicate a listing multiple times, right? That red butterfly small shirt, right? If you have that design duplicated multiple times in your shop because you're split testing the listings, then you want to have the SKU in there so you can see which listing is selling more small butterfly red, right? Now, if you're a physical good person, it's important for you to use a SKU system even more so, because the idea is that if you removed yourself from your operation, that the SKU code alone should help you identify what that product is, again, without reading a title or seeing an image. So if you replaced yourself in your fulfillment room, the employee or whoever's fulfilling the order would be able to read the SKU, and the codes within that SKU is defining what that product is based off of a code. So if you're selling a pink small scrunchie, right, it would be, something that looks like this, where each part of that SKU is telling the person where they need to go into the fulfillment room and grab that item, right? And that is what SKUs do. Now, I have a free SKU generator tool. Again, it's in my description. And basically, there's going to be a video in there that shows you how to use it. It's all in Google Sheets. And basically, what this ends up becoming for your business is a living document. So every time you launch a new design or a new product, it becomes a process that you go and create a SKU for that product before you launch it. And you put that into your listings. So hopefully that all makes sense. Again, go grab that SKU generator. I can also cue a related video below that goes deeper into this if I lost you at any point, because it can be a little confusing, especially if you have a really complex product line like jewelry or something like that. It can get very complex depending on what your attributes are, but I have case studies and we can go over how we can set this up. I think the case study actually is for a complex jewelry store, so you can go check that out. Okay, and the fourth tool that also has a free plan is something called ClickUp. ClickUp is a project management tool where you can basically assign yourself tasks. So one of the key things in every Etsy business is that you have a consistent inflow of new product listing launches happening. And what we like to do is every month, we like to have at least 5 new SKUs get created each month. So we have a consistent inflow of new products happening, but then also we'll have 5 to 10 new product listings happening. So it doesn't mean that we're creating all 15 listings that we're making as new products, right? Only 5 new products are being listed, like that didn't exist in our shop before, but then there's 5 to 10 new listings being made. So we'll bundle things together or split test our current existing product lines without investing in any more materials with just our current product. So we'll put different items together and split test them in different bundles and different types of images in different locations to see if we can beat our previous best listings or our previous best sellers, right? So we have this consistent engine of new product development happening every month. And so ClickUp is a really good place to keep yourself accountable on each listing that you're working on and set tasks and goals and a calendar for yourself to be able to do that. Now, if you don't want to use ClickUp, you can also just use Google Calendar. That's okay too. ClickUp was the first one that I used. I think it's a lot more simplistic than some of these other tools. Now I've graduated to a tool called Asana, which Asana is like kind of like the difference between Canva and Photoshop. Asana is a little bit more complex, but for beginners, I think ClickUp is a really good basic one where it has all the things and can help you keep yourself accountable with having this consistent inflow of new product launches happening. Okay, and finally, the best one, and this goes hand in hand with SKUs and making sure that you're tracking your business. The top shops on Etsy understand the makeup of their business metrics. So Profittree is the first ever real-time profit tracking tool for Etsy sellers. And essentially what is important here? It's important here that you're building a business that is trackable, right? So you want to know every unique product that you're selling, and then you want to know the profit on every unique product that you're selling. So Profittree does a lot of really cool things things for your business. Not only does it show your profit, obviously. By the way, guys, you can use this tool whether you use SKUs or not. It's just you get more powerful data when you do use SKUs. Again, even if you don't use Profittree or not, it does help. So again, Profittree is going to show you your profit. It's also going to sync your SKUs data together. So like in that example, if you're selling a pink small scrunchie and you have that SKU in your Etsy account, but you sell that pink small scrunchie in 20 other listings, right? You can go into your product reports and you can see the consolidated sales data of that unique item that's being sold across many different listings. It also gives you listing reports and shows you what variations options are selling the most in your listing. So if you have one unique variation option that's basically selling or making 90% of your sales, but that variation option isn't the one that's being advertised in your main image or with your keywords, then there's a big opportunity there to duplicate that listing and run it again by advertising that main product that's making 90% of your sales. It's super easy to use. You basically can just go in, add your product costs, and begin tracking your real-time Etsy profit after all your fees, expenses, marketing. Oh yeah, it's also really good for marketing because it gives you a visual on what your marketing cost percentage is and how much it's eating your profit every month. And so those then build better KPIs of what you need to optimize with your ads to make sure that your marketing cost percentage is decreasing over long periods of time. So yeah, anyway, you can sign up for Profittree. There's a link in the description down below and you can go and try that out. All right, guys, those are the 5 tools that I think that every Etsy seller should be using, especially moving forward. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. All right, see ya in the next video. Hopefully we'll have a better shooting situation soon. That's all I can say. Just soon.